Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel for a speed build. My name's Silver and I have the Enclave for you today. So this is a bit different from my other builds. It is a community lot. I don't typically build a lot of community lots, but I had this idea after Realm of Magic came out and I finally got around to finishing it and sitting down and actually doing it. And I had a lot of fun with it. So it is a library. We're building the outside now, and I wanted this kind of modern shape, but at the same time old and industrial, and you'll see that with the colors that we do get a lot of the kind of old and new, a lot of blacks and browns and even whites, because like I said, I wanted it to be a little bit modern too. And we add in a skylight here, which I think opens up the space downstairs. There's a loft area that we're going to be building here now. And yeah, we keep this shape. I liked it a lot. It allowed me to put a cafe up there. So this does actually function as a cafe and a library with a little surprise, which you'll see in a moment, and it's why it's called the Enclave. So I'm just adding the windows in now, and I was going to use these ones from Get Together, but it just, nah, it didn't work. But I like these ones that were kind of like the ones from Moschino's Stuff Pack, but I don't have that one yet. But they were very industrial, and I just really liked the way it looked. I'm not a huge fan of the blue, but it works, especially when we add the colors in, I think. Also, if you noticed, I did put a green roof on there, and that was originally because I wasn't going to do any landscaping of any kind, but when I got to the end and did a little bit, very minimalistic, because I didn't want, I wanted it to be clean. It's a public space, and I kind of imagined that this would be where like the students would go to hang out. I know we don't have university yet, but yeah, I kind of imagined that that's what this place would be for. So there is a lot of seating and a lot of bookshelves. You'll see in a moment. But originally I made the roof green so that we would have some kind of greenery in the building. But in the end I do change that because I didn't like it. And here I'm just messing with the colors. I think I did go with this one, not the red color. I chose this color, the darker brown, but this is from Spa Day, I believe. Obviously it's not a limited pack build. I'm just adding some accessories to the roof and some columns here to help support the upstairs. I like the way it turned out. I was trying to do something fun here, like to separate the area, but it just wasn't happening, so I went ahead and changed that, and we add a bathroom in here, and also this fun bit. And this is why it's called the Enclave. And you will see in a moment, but this place also functions as a nightclub, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It's meant to be like one of those VIP witches nightclubs, so definitely Realm of Magic inspired, and it has pretty much everything you could need, really. But I had a lot of fun with it because it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a neat concept to have. And again, that's why it's called the Enclave, because it's a space hidden within a space. And I did put the VIP door in front of it so the non-witchy folk can stay out. I mean, I know that's not how the VIP door works, but we're gonna go with that story, and that's my story, and I'll tell it how I want. So here I'm just adding the cafe. I didn't add a lot to it just because I wanted the upstairs to kind of be like a front, almost like a prop. So I did add all the general furnishings, but remember, it's a public space. You wouldn't have a lot of clutter, at least in the libraries I've been to, haven't had a lot of clutter. And I was originally going to add the lights, but then I thought, nah, flowers. We add the lights on the tables outside though, because there's not really that much light when you're out there at night. I don't know why you'd be out there at night. Maybe some night coffee for your late night studying, I don't know. But here we're painting the walls, and like I said, we just went with this white and brick color scheme to make it a little bit more modernized, but also old, because I use the older brick. which I think worked quite well. I'm just adding some rugs and changing the colors here. But here's where I'm adding the bookshelves. I was going to go with these ones, but they just don't snap, and it's really frustrating. Not that these ones snap either. I do move them in the end because I didn't like that the tops were kind of glitching, so we moved them. I mean, sometimes it's okay, but for this, just because it's such a big build, I felt it was a little intrusive. So I did change it, and I didn't like that the column wasn't even, so we added some. And I like the way it turned out. It did add that separation I was looking for earlier. I didn't add any curtains. I did not think that this place would have curtains. It's just not old enough, if that makes sense. And a lot of the curtains that we have are kind of older. And I really liked the peach couch. The peach couch has such a nice texture on it, which we don't normally get with this game pack. So, like, with this game pack. Here I'm just adding some more seating to give the area some more comfort. Like, if you're reading books, you're gonna want to have a place to sit down. And I use these kind of puff chair things, you know, the ones without backs or legs, from City Living. And I'm adding desks. I think that's a base game desk, and we just add some computers, because what's a library without computers, huh? And some lights as well. Again, I kept it very minimalistic. I didn't want to add a lot of decor because I felt that this library is kind of a sham. It's not real. I mean, you could use it as a library, of course, but in my personal game, I won't be using it as a library. I will be using it as the Witchy VIP Club, which I think works for my personal style. Yeah, so that's just for me. But we're just adding some more lights because it was really dark. And I did keep these big lights. I made them smaller in the end, but we do keep them because I felt that it added a little bit of a modern touch. Plus they're really bright, which is nice. So, yeah, it worked for me. And that is the wallpaper from Get Together, which I thought fit in quite well. And now we're moving on to the basement where we have the nightclub. And I just wanted to add the VIP door, so that's what we're doing here. It took a little bit to get the shape right of exactly what I wanted, plus I was running out of room a little bit. I didn't want to keep it too big. And I also didn't want it to be like a square. So, I mean, it does end up being a square, but less of a square than I thought it was going to be. I don't often build basements because they're kind of awkward. I think, personally, I find them a little awkward. So the color scheme down here is much different to upstairs. Down here it's like dark browns as well as blacks, but also reds, purples, and blues. I had fun with it. It was more of a color scheme I don't normally get to use. And we're just adding some black wallpaper here. I mean, it's not black, but it was as close as I could find. That would work for me personally. And we get a DJ booth, of course, as well as a, stereo. As well as a stereo so they can listen to music. And, yeah, there was no problems with this. We had a trash can. Here I'm just trying to find stools that work, and ultimately this is where we introduced the red with these stools, and I really liked them. I've never used that swatch before, but it's really nice. It was a nice pop of color for what I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be dark, but also, you know, those, almost like a vampire hangout. This is very much a witch's place, but I imagined it could be a vampire's hangout too. You know, that kind of almost creepy vibe I really liked. And here we're adding a cauldron room, which you'll see why in a second, mostly. Because I kind of thought that it would fit in nicely with some of the bar decorations that we get in here. And this is a dance floor as well. I'm not sure if it's functional because I didn't add the actual dance floor. I don't know. Surely you can dance in front of the DJ thing anyway though, right? If not, wow, actually don't know. I don't think I've ever been to a nightclub in The Sims. Whoops. So we're just trying to add some decorations here, you know, like your bottles of nectar, because it's not alcohol, guys, it's nectar. And we're adding some tables under it because I always feel like just the bottles themselves maybe isn't enough, and I could have gone with the shorter wall height, but I liked the kind of grand feeling that this room had. And also this is like the VIP lounge section that I think you see in movies and stuff like that, where the scary people are hanging out. Not that witches are scary or anything, right? I mean, they totally don't want to kill us, right? And this is also where I introduced the purple color, and we end up going back to that end table, yeah. I don't think I put anything on it, but I don't know. It worked out for what I wanted, so, because like I said, this is going to be in my game, so I, you know, want to use it for maybe my evil witch who likes to go out and party with her friends and stuff. And I don't know if you saw, those blue lights are from Toddler Stuff Pack, and they're so cute. I've never used them in this blue swatch, and I really liked them, but I thought the blue, red, and purple kind of all went together, so. And here I'm going to go through the debug menu, and anybody want a witch's brew, because this is where you get them. So I'm adding bottles of potions, and I thought it was a nice touch to add the potions because maybe they're like special witches drinks. Well, I guess they are, really, but again, that's why I had the cauldron in there, so because I figured, you know, maybe the mixologist also has to go down to the cauldron and mix up some potions. And I added a familiars thing because I kind of thought that it was just maybe a nice touch for the VIP lounge. And oh, by the way, at the end of all of this, that light, by the way, if you size it down, the orbs like float outside of it, and it looks like little will-o'-the-wisps, and it's really cool in live mode. Sorry about that, but at the end, I do make all of these colors purple. Like, I dim them down and make them purple to get like that ambiance of a witch's nightclub, and I think it works. You'll see it in the screenshots if you stick around that long, but it will definitely give you that vibe, or I hope it does, because that's what I was going for. I was gonna try to find some like glasses, but they weren't full, so it kind of didn't work for me, but in the end, I think it's fine. Also, I found a heart, and it was titled Organ. What is that about? My game has been in Dutch for so long, I come back and I find things and I'm like, whoa, I'm not sure that's okay. Yeah, because if you didn't notice, my previous games were in Dutch, but now they're in English, and I'm kind of sad because it was really good for learning for me. I had a lot of fun trying to decipher some of the things, but realistically speaking, if you guys want to watch my channel, then it needs to be in the most common language that people are going to be using. While I was talking, I am decorating the upstairs, and I added a lot of seating. So going back to the idea that this is like for the university folks, and added some flowers, and it was at this point I was kind of thinking the roof was maybe too green. Because I didn't do anything with it, and it's not an eco build, so I kind of didn't really imagine that it would be maybe green. And we're just decorating the back terrace in case, you know, Sims wanted to study outside. And it was at this point I realized I did not have a chess table, which is kind of important for these kinds of builds, so we did add them. And I tried to bring in different colors, but it just wasn't happening, so we went with these ones, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. The rest is just landscaping, but I didn't do much landscaping because I wanted to keep it quite minimalistic. And we do add some stairs. I think your sim can walk down from that height, but I'm not sure. And I was having some issues. Like on the other side I was able to place them down, but on this side I apparently couldn't, so I put the foundation back down and we put it back up, and I'm glad it's working now. because in my first video I mentioned that the foundation, if I lower it, it doesn't really work for me. But apparently it works fine now. So all that's left to do is a little bit of landscaping, so I'm going to leave you guys here, and the screenshots will be coming up in a moment. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, let me know in the comments and show your support by tapping the like button and subscribe for more builds. If you'd like this build in your game, it is up on the gallery under my username SilverPlumPops. Have a great day. Bye!